in evaluation. He has competed many times in competitions. He has won as well. The latest one was District 95 Evaluation Champion. So I want you guys to put your hands together to welcome the one and only Andreas.
Last time you received really rough, totally tough feedback. How did it make you feel? Maybe like an ostrich, you just wanted to stick your head in the ground so the whole world could just disappear. Have you had that feeling? Come back with me. Back to 2010. In a room kind of like this, at DTU, the Technical University of Denmark, I was a PhD student doing a presentation course. And if you'd been there, you would have heard the projector buzzing in the background, zoom, zoom, zoom. You would have felt that weird feeling where, you know, where the room's really, there's a lot of chalk in it, so it's really dry. You would have felt that. And you would have seen a younger version of me on stage, and two professors on the side getting ready to give feedback. I spoke for 7 minutes, and the professors gave feedback for 25 minutes. 25 minutes! And this wasn't like Hygge Toastmasters, this was horrible. Like that 3 Ps was pathetic, pitiful, and it was horrible. And this was in front of all my peers, all my friends. And I just felt so small. They would tag team me, they were just standing back going, oh, you know what else Andreas did wrong? Oh, go to slide 7, Andreas. Oh, that was terrible. You will all do much better than Andreas, because you will know what not to do. Horrible. So, today, I'm going to teach you the secrets that helped me win the evaluation contest at District 95. The secrets that I learned from my mentor, Chris Leb, who I met at Stanford University, who's written 2 books on presentations. The secrets that helped me win District 95. Who in here knows what district even means? Okay, some of you. For those of you who don't know, the way it works in Toastmasters is you compete at the top level, like here, speak to lead, then you win that one. Then you move on to area level, then you win that one. Then you move on to division level, then you win that one. Then you move on to district level, then you win that. Then there's no more levels in evaluation, that's it. So for District 95, that is Sweden, Denmark, Germany. We pronounce it slightly different here in Denmark for historic reasons. So this is going to be a workshop, meaning you are going to have to do work. You up for it?
Yes.
So basically, this is going to be the longest I talk in a row. Now I'll teach you some tricks and tools, and then you'll get activated. We'll have target speakers. We have me, for example, and Theis after the break. And then teach you a little, get a speaker up. You will try and do an evaluation and learn, because I believe that you will remember nothing I say and anything you say. That's my philosophy in workshops. So let's get on. So the first thing I want you guys to do, and it's going to be a little chaotic, in a moment, get up, find a person you don't know, shake their hand, and tell them why is feedback important. So find a person you don't know, shake their hand, say your name, and tell them why is feedback important. Instructions clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
To boost the confidence of the other person.
To boost the confidence on the other person. Exactly what happened in my case, by the way. I will conquer the world. Here, and then we're done. First, down there. Down.
Yeah, so we spoke with Kim that it's a way for the person giving the feedback to pay attention and to grow.
So the person giving the feedback has to listen. This is one of the difficult things with evaluation, right? Listening. I struggle with that one. What's your name?
Radu.
Radu. Close enough.
Resilience to vulnerability.
Resilience. Say some more. More words.
Resilience to vulnerability.
Yeah. Put some more words on that.
Sort of like it it's very vulnerable to stand there.
Yeah.
Kind of feel really exposed.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, it's actually a caring thing to say that I see your vulnerability. I see the thing that kind of you feel that you want to hide from, and am I putting it out here in order for you to see it as well?
Wow. We went deep on the second one. Vulnerability and resilience to vulnerability. Good job. Last one. Who was it? I forgot.
Me?
You up here. You.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so in my view, feedback, we perceive the world from our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And at times there are things that we just don't see because they're secluded from our point of view. Feedback is a way to allow us see behind things that we might not realize or be aware of. And as I talked with my partner, it highly also depends how effective the feedback is. If somebody just says, this sucks, you're not really allowing them to see the different perspective. So it's very dependent on the quality of feedback.
Your name?
Robert.
Robert. Blind spots. You guys are really deep. I've given this workshop several times. This is like the deepest we're going to go. Blind spots, there's stuff we don't notice, we don't see ourselves that someone else can help point out. Which is actually, one point here is, sometimes someone will come up to you before an evaluation saying, I want you to look at A, B, and C, right? And that can be good, but sometimes what they really should be working on is D, right? So don't feel restrictive to only focus on what they're saying, because you might have a different perspective and be able to pinpoint something they don't even notice. Of course, listen to what they're saying, but also give really good. I want to add one just from club perspective, not for the individual in terms of feedback. For me, feedback and evaluation sets the ceiling of a club. The higher level evaluations you get, the better your club is. It is that simple. The better feedback you're able to give to the speaker, the better the speakers become, but also everyone else learns. So everyone else increases in level, and you get more people in the room because most people come here to learn, right? So if they get really good evaluations and they hear, oh, wow, then they want to come back and the club grows. So evaluations for me is the pinnacle. It sets the ceiling for the club. So what we'll do now is move into some tips and tricks on how you give evaluations. We'll start out with the basics, then we'll do a speech. Me will give a speech, and then we'll give feedback for him. Then we can do the more advanced part, and then we'll get Theis on stage after the break, and we'll do another round of evaluations for him. So we start out with the basics, do one, then do the advanced, and so on. Ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, first of all, I think Ching said it really well. She said, evaluations are difficult. Because there's so many things you have to do, right? You have to listen. That one in itself is hard. But you have to be analytical, suggest things they can improve, write a short speech, prepare it without really having time to prepare it. In an evaluation contest, worst case scenario, you have 5 minutes. And we're going to do that today. 5 minutes in preparation. And then you have to go up and give a semi-impromptu speech in a good way. That's a lot of things you have to do. So the first advice I always give is make it as simple as possible, which means have a predefined structure. Don't make up, now I have to invent my new evaluations. Here's your system, use it, repeat it, and then don't worry about that. That's the number one thing you can do to improve your evaluations, and the easiest thing. So here is the structure that Chris Lipp taught me, and now I teach others. So, you read it, I write terribly. Anyway, I choose to write, it's a weird thing. Okay, so the structure I use for the evaluation is simple. It's open, plus, plus, minus, minus. If I'm really frisky, I'll do a third minus. And then summary, and then a close. Okay? So this is the structure I want you all to try today. Open. First thing, you want to treat it like a speech. It's not just I'm giving feedback, it's an actual speech. So your opening should be like a speech. It should grab the attention of the audience, rattle them a little bit. And the easiest way of doing that is stealing. So the thing is, the prepared speaker has spent a lot of time preparing their opening. So what I always do is write down their opening word for word, and then I look at that, and then I maybe twist it a little bit. When I get a little more advanced, I didn't do it in the district final because I knew everyone else would do it. And sure enough, I saw 7 out of 9, and 7 of them started with the same thing, and I was one of them that did another thing. I was just like, yeah, gotcha. But to begin with, steal. Okay? Open, steal their opening. It's a good opening. Secondly, you take two things you liked about the speech. That's 2 pluses. You'll start with the first thing. And the reason why you do the first thing is there's a very nice transition, right? I'm stealing your opening, and then I'm pointing out it's a good opening. Pretty good structure, huh? Then I would say, what did I like the most? What was the one thing where I thought that was absolutely ridiculously good? What was the one thing I liked the most? Then I do, what can you improve the most? And then I have 2 parts. One, these are the 2 pluses and minuses. One is content, and the other is delivery. Any of this complicated so far? Pretty easy, right? What is the one thing, if I could give me one piece of advice on content, one piece of advice on delivery that in his next speech will mean that he moves the most, what would that be? That's the question. And then I do a summary. I don't know why. You have to. It collects points in the competition. Not sure why. But that is basically just repeating the points very quickly in a summary. So what I like was suggestions could be. And then I do a close where I normally, and this is already a little bit advanced tip, so don't worry so much about it yet. We'll take it in the second round. I try and tie the opening and the close together. So whatever I started at, I want to end with in a twist. And then they're like, oh wow, what a structure. But it is as simple as whatever I open with, I want to close. And that's sort of a micro. If I can twist it a little bit, it'll be even better. Does this structure make sense to you?
Yeah.
Please write it down or take a picture or something, because you're going to use it in a moment. All of you. I should have said that earlier. Because I have to delete it because I don't have any second paper. Right? That's how it is. Exactly. I'm not exaggerating. Motor. So the second thing is you got the structure. Now you need to know how to write your notes. I do like this. I have a piece of paper, A4 paper. I put a line. On one side, I write points. And the other is examples. Then about 1/4 or 1/3 down here, I put a line like this. Here I put my little structure already ahead of time. Open, plus, plus, minus, minus, sum, close. Then I write name here. And then I actually also write theme. But we'll get to that. That's another advanced step. We'll get to that later. So this is the last 1/3 or 1/4 of the page. This is the top part. Does this make sense? The trick is you got 5 minutes, so you got to be really tight with what you're doing. Then I start writing. First of all, I write down the first sentence out of their mouth. They're very opening because I'm going to steal it. So it's very important. If I forget it, I've written it down. Okay? Then I write plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, and I just start writing what I like and what I didn't like. I like the question open. I think you should use more you than I. Then I have short forms for this. And I just start writing these, and then I give examples here. If there's a good quote or something, I'll write down. I don't write a lot here. I write way more here. Okay? So now I'm almost halfway through the speech. I already start, okay, I know I'm going to start with the opening here. I'm going to have this point. I'm going to have this point. Then I sort of make a square around the points. I'm going to have this point. And then I'm ready to convert that to my system straight away. So when I leave that room, before we have even started, you have 5 minutes, you start walking straight and you go into the back, you have 5 minutes. Before I walk into that room, I have my structure ready. While I'm walking to the room, I am already rehearsing my evaluation. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
But this is part of the tricks. If you really want to do well, this is part of the tricks. And if you're just starting out, it's still part of the tricks because it makes it so much easier. Okay? And name is very important because when you do a competition, you'll not know the name, and it's so embarrassing to stand up there for 3.5 minutes and say, then the speaker said this. I think the speaker should improve this. It's so embarrassing. So actually, the first thing you write down is their name, and the second thing is their opening. Now, I was so nervous at district, I'll be honest with you, that I sat ready with my paper, and you're not supposed to write beforehand, so there's no cheating or anything. And then they introduced the contest chair, who's like the Toastmaster. And then I wrote down the name on the paper, because I was so nervous, I was like, I gotta get the name. And then I wrote down the name of the contest chair, and then okay, that's not the right name. We'll crush it out, then the competition comes, I write down the other name. And I do my evaluation, I go up, I give my evaluation, I ace it, right? I'm like, oh, I did well, okay, it's good. All right. Then I sit down on a chair, and then as soon as the competition stops, someone just comes over, pulls my back, and like, in German, right? Like mortar. They just speak mortar. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Did I cheat? Was it because I wrote the name? Am I disqualified? And she's like, I don't understand German. And she was like, no, I just said, that was the shit. You did perfect. I was thank God. I thought I was fired because I wrote the wrong name. But please consider writing it. Okay? Does this make sense for you?
Yeah.
You have the structure. Let's just summarize it. You have the structure. Open, steal the opening. Then you take the first thing you like, the thing that you like the most. What can you improve the most in terms of content and in terms of delivery? Then you summarize it. Then you have a close where you tie your opening to your close ideally. And then make sure to use the notes. You have a question?
Yeah, what about the theme?
I will leave that for later.
Okay.
I'll just mention that I write that as a note. The point is that the speech is about something. So what is that theme? And it can be a little bit zoomed out. Could be water or fire or what is the overall theme? And we'll get to the advanced tips because it really kicks ass. But let's start with the basics. Had a question down here?
Yeah, it was just for the improvement points. You had 2 minuses, and then like content and delivery. So is it really 4 things, or is it?
It's 2 things. So first one would be, what can you improve the most on content? What can you improve the most on delivery? So those are the 2 points. I'm just lazy. Sorry.
Regarding the points, do you like just keep on scribbling and then you pick the best of the 2 pluses and the best of the 2 minuses? Do you do that?
Yeah, so it is what is the thing I like the most about the speech, and what is the thing I can give this person so they move the most for the next speech. Like if I see this person next time, what can I give of most value where I feel like they're going to move the most?
Yeah, but when you're listening, do you like keep writing all the pluses and all?
Oh yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
And
Keep
you
going.
just pick whichever you feel
Yeah.
of value.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes, to be totally fair, in competitions, I might not do the most obvious because I'll be like, let me show these guys. I'm sorry. Right? And then I go, oh, this one. Oh, they don't know this one. I'll do that one. Right. But that's do what helps the speaker the most. That's my advice. And make sure it helps the whole group. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Any more questions? So what we're going to do now is you're going to do it. Meaning, we're going to get the first speaker up. Can you set that up? We're going to get the first speaker up in 1 minute. Then you're going to write down your notes like this. We're going to give you 5 minutes right after. And then we already pre-assigned 1 evaluator, but we'll have We'll pick more of you later. So one of you will get up here and give it a go. And this is a supported environment, so make sure you when people step up, let them know, right? Okay? Are we ready?
Yes.
Me, Osa, just be yourself.
How many of you have been given this advice for anything that you have ever wanted to try? Just be yourself. Show of hands. Almost all of you. Be it a first date, be it meeting your friends, going for an interview, first day of job, just be yourself. You should be fine. This is an advice that's easier said than done. Now I want you to take a very breezy walk with me for this particular example. Let's take two case scenarios of the same just be myself with friends and with the first day of a new job. I'm meeting my friend. Hey, hi. So yesterday I had the perfect night out. I have no idea how I got home. Imagine this now for the first day of the job. Guten Morgen, meet. I don't know why he's German, but he's German now. Welcome to your first day of job. Thank you, man. I'm so tired. I had such a wild night out. I have no idea how I got home and today in the office. Does this work?
No.
No, right? I have to make sure that the external factors are considered. So maybe just be yourself does not work. Maybe there are a few more things that you have to take care of. These things I categorize in something that I call the idea of self. Because when you talk about what you want to do, what is it? Is it the notion of what you want to do? Or is it something that your worth is measured by? But I don't think worth applies everywhere. But maybe it's your traits. Now the traits particularly slide into something I call behavioral traits. So as a person, these are my traits. Some of them, because I cannot show all my cards to you. But these ones, for example, sarcasm, soft-spoken, and enthusiastic. You in some or the other place might have seen me behave sarcastic, soft-spoken, or very, very enthusiastic. But that changes based on who you are to me and where we are. For example, if I'm talking to the Toastmasters, it's soft-spoken and very much enthusiastic. But if I'm talking to my friends, maybe I'm a little more sarcastic and very, very enthusiastic. And third, and my favorite part, sarcasm and soft-spoken, or as my mom likes to call it, wrapping up a brick in a silk cloth and throwing it at the other person's head. That I like to say for the people that I truly, truly despise. Now this is something that I have gathered as the experience that I've gone through in different jobs, in different places, in different countries, with different people. But I wanted to go down this rabbit hole and find something that actually evaluates this based on what behavioral traits actually convert into your personality traits. I met with this author of this book, Copenhagen, author's name is Sean Hewitt, who gave a very good interview about the main character in his book. That particular character, called James, has been through certain life situations, certain extrinsic factors that person has lived till he became 22. Other people in the same town, in the same situation, have gone through the similar things, but they did not behave in the same way James did. What changed? So it's not always the external factors. It's not always the fact that you are not with your friend circle, but you are at a job interview or on your day one of job. Maybe it's something more. He divides it into three very particular things that are universal. These are external influences. These three influences are something that you can find in your life at every single moment. For example, class. No matter what place you are in, what life age group you are in, you belong to certain class, you have been categorized into certain class. These class brackets might change based on where you are, but you might be middle class, upper middle class, uber rich, or some sort of version of that. Then comes to the country area. For me, I come from a South Asian country where sun is something that I absolutely do not like. But if I say that to a Dane, I might not be welcomed here. So that's something that that comes to me from the country that I belong to. The last part is culture. Now this is heavily sent down from generation to generation in the forms of social culture, economic culture, as well as the culture of religion that we have seen so engraved in every single person. These things affect how you reciprocate to the situation that you are put in. I'll give you an example of what I faced when I was sitting in a workshop at my job. Mind you, I was one of the only 2 Indians there, everybody else was a European. We were given this graph and told that when you go from flow to stress, that's where you go on a long hiatus, you go on a long leave, you do not show up for work. Now as a brown person, as an Indian, in my head, I take a sick leave when there is an increased anxiety. When I'm on the verge of collapse, that's when I think, maybe I should take it a bit slow and go home and relax. Not to say that Europeans don't consider the same level of stress as any Indian does or a South Asian person does. It's about how we have grown up. For me, to survive in this country as an immigrant or as an expat, it's more important for me to show up that I am doing something valuable here than to think about 4 extra hours of work on the daily. So maybe it's the importance of what I'm doing than how I'm doing it that takes over the idea of stress. Because everybody has a different idea, different values there. So, what I would like to say is, sometimes it's not to be yourself. You should learn, unlearn, and then maybe just be your best self.
You start the competitions, before the competition you draw the numbers like you're number 1, and for the higher levels there's like 8 or 10 competitors. There's a lot of competitors, and getting that number 1 spot is just like, it's terrible. I got 2 in the district, which was, I was like, it's not 1, but okay. So given the first evaluation of Meet's speech, please give a big round of applause. A big round of applause for Shinya.
As Andrea mentioned, worst scenario, you are given only 5 minutes to give your evaluation. So it is my pleasure to give my speech to, my evaluation to Meet, Just Be Yourself. Opening question was very powerful. Just be yourself. How ubiquitous this advice can be when people come to you. How am I supposed to behave in this new setting? I just joined a new company. How should I behave? Just be yourself. Come on, it's not the kind of advice that obviously you're looking for before you finally go talk to this person seeking for the advice. What I liked the most is that how he built up his theory. From just be yourself, I think he approached to more defining or being more aware of who you are. He gave a lot of examples, external influences, behavioral traits as well. Especially one example, I like that the level of perception on stress varies across the people. I really felt touched because I myself also work as expat in Denmark. I just moved here almost a year ago, and I've been feeling the same way in the last 5 years. So that was very powerful to grab attention, I believe. Suggestion. I have 2 suggestions. Contents-wise, I think he's got a lot of stuff to cover within 5 minutes. So he got, I didn't count, but 7 or 8 slides to go through. He didn't look back at the slides so much, great. he was always engaged. He was always trying to engage the audience by looking at you, each of you. Fantastic. But still, when he boils down to the crucial message that he wants you to take away from each slide, maybe he was a little bit diluted, as he had to cover so many contents. Delivery-wise, my last suggestion, I wasn't sure what he wanted to capture from the slide, from everything he delivered, what he learned from that. Maybe he could have given you actual personal experience, like this time I struggled to be myself because I wasn't aware of where I came from, or my class, those external influences he gave you as an example. Maybe that kind of example could have even beefed up his message. That's it, thank you.
Big round of applause, come on. See him, Roman Caesar, he went out like this and told people, so all of you, I want you to put your hand out, and now we're going to poll. So this is yes, this is sort of okay, this is no, okay? Did he steal the opening? Up or down? That's sort of in between or no? I would say no. Steal the opening would have been raise your hand if you want to be like yourself. It's a good opening. You just steal that. Just go ahead and steal it, and never start with an excuse. No matter what happens, never start. You drop a baby, you go, nah. Let's go. Never start with an excuse, because you are coming in from a deficit. So opening, not quite. Just steal it. Lovely opening. I stole it. All right. Did he have two pluses? What do you think? Yeah? Good. Really good. Look around. 2 minuses. 2 improvements. Good. Look around. Clear summary?
Not really.
You got caught on time, I could tell. You were like, you looked at the yellow and were like, well, you know. Right? And a clear close, same. Ran out of time or ran off, at least. So, Caesar's poll, that's where we are. So who wants to, now you know what's going to happen to you. I should not have done that. So, who's next? Who's next on stage? We're going to do the same evaluation of meat, and we're bringing out someone now.
Hey everyone, how many of you have recognized and heard the saying, just be yourself, and felt a bit awkward about it? So, quite a bit. I think it was a great opening, very high energy, very positive body language. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm feeling really sleepy. I was feeling really sleepy before. Once the presentation started, I just was a bit like this, and I was like, something is happening on stage. There's all this energy moving around. A lot of positive energy in terms of delivery, very positive, also engaging us in the audience. Also making sure, despite the high energy, to have some pauses. I also love the content. I really like that it was split by the rule of 3, which makes it very easy for us to remember. And at the same time, it was also very visual. So it wasn't just easy to remember, but it was very easy to look at the 3 circles and nod, because it's also very relatable and very easy to understand, essentially. As to the improvements, I think one of them was that, and I think that is the pitfall of having very high energy. And I think one of them was that it felt a bit like a train that just kind of goes past you, and you're like, okay, what happened? That was very, very, very fast, essentially. And then the other one was, and it's related to the first one. At the end, there was a hook back into the opening, at the closing, but it happened very, very, very fast. So it was a bit difficult to understand what was the full circle here. So in summary, very cool, very easy to understand, very high energy. The only small improvement would be to just kind of take a bit more time, because some of us might be a bit slow and we might miss all the small steps that you planted in between. Thank you.
Radu?
Yes.
Radu, how long have you been a Toastmaster?
A year and a half.
Year and a half? That was really good. Can we grade on it?
Yes.
So, round four. Jesus Paul. Did he steal the opening?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will add, you're not Eminem. Don't start with hi, or hi, my name is, or hi, everyone. If you're Eminem, you can do it. If you're not Eminem, just go straight for the thing. But good steal. This is one of my feedbacks I get from my okay, next one. 2 pluses. Oh, I like that. I heard 2 pluses. 2 improvement points, content and delivery, even. Yeah, pretty good, right? Summary? I heard a summary. Close. No, well, you just tie it back at the end. That was really good. You also see what structure can do to an evaluation. Like, this is the first time you ever hit this structure. Once you've done this 3 times and it's 4 times, it's in the bag, then it's much more smooth. Raise your hand if you ever wanted to be your best self. What I love about Meet's speech today was he grabbed our attention from the get-go with a question. Question jottles us, it takes us out of it. We're like listening, we're really thinking. It's a great way to start a speech. The thing I liked the most about Meet's speech was he actually used dialogue. He made it into a real scene, and we got captured in there in that moment. 2 small suggestions, small tweaks that I could take this speech and make it even better would be in terms of showing yourself. You want to see who's talking. Now, what Meet did was use the north-south technique, which is basically I look this way and I look this way, depending on who's speaking, which is good, but you don't have to travel that distance. It doesn't have to be like, hello! Hello. All you need to do with the north-south technique is a flip of the head. Hey. I just came back from vacation. Oh, really? Did you meet? It's great to have you back. Now, what I'm trying to say here, you see, that's just a flip of the head. You travel that distance. You're showing your technique. You're seeing the seams of what you're doing. And secondly, I would say, add the recipient's name in the line of dialogue. Whenever you say Meet, then you're talking to Meet. And whenever you say the other person's name, you're indicating who's speaking. Now, in terms of content, I would say, picture superiority content. When you have things writing up here, you're competing with the slides. You're sitting there reading the slides, weren't you, at some point, and not listening to Meet going, oh. Well, if Meet had taken a little at a time, added pictures instead, we would just have gotten it. Didn't have to think. So instead of having the words, had the pictures, and that is much smoother. So to summarize, love the question in the beginning. I love the dialogue, making it all come alive. I would suggest to just flip the head slightly and use the recipient's name. And last but not least, use picture superiority and make it fold out a little at a time. It'll be even better. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, raise your hand if you want to be like Meet. I always say, be yourself unless you can be Meet. Then be Meet. Just to summarize, the structure, opening, steal. 2 points for improvement or what you liked. One is first thing, and then what you like the most. 2 improvement points. What can this person improve the most in terms of content and delivery, summary, and a close where you tie back to the. Now what we're going to move into is the more advanced tips. This is the basic, the structure and the notes. We're going to do more advanced tips. Some of them you will be able to do. Some of them will be like, what the? Okay? And I don't manage to do all of them every single evaluation, but I try to include as many as possible. So and then what we'll do is we'll bring on Theis to give a speech, and you'll do an evaluation, and we'll see how many of these we can get. Okay?
Yeah.
So first, advanced trip. Let's see. First thing is clear tips. And when I say clear tips, I mean 2 things. You want to be able to section up your points, so it's clear what is the actual point. If you're sort of rattling on different points, like my point was clear, picture superiority. Now I talk about picture superiority. That is one clear tip. Secondly, you have a substructure underneath each point, where you have what, where, and how. Does this make sense? So, picture superiority. That's the what. What are we doing? You were probably looking at the notes, but if you just had a picture, then you would just get the whole thing in one thing, and you wouldn't be competing against it. Now I'm explaining where it is. So what I would suggest was take the words and replace them with pictures. For example, it could be you have one that said flow. What could flow be replaced with? So now, for each point, I try and explain what is it I'm doing, where is it should be applied, and how is it you do it. Pluses and minuses. So clear sections for each, clear point for each, and you want to hit those 3 points. What, where, and how. Make sense?
Yeah.
Second, you could call it a substructure. Second would be words. I like this one actually as well. Words. Words matter. Words matter a lot, particularly when it comes to feedback. So there's different ways of phrasing. You could say, what Meat did wrong was this. He shouldn't do that. That was bad. You hear those words? What other words could you use? Let's do it real quick. Talk 30 seconds to your neighbor. What are some constructive words for improvement? What are some good words you can use for improvement? Some positive words. So 30 seconds, talk to your neighbor. What are some constructive words you can use if you want to improve someone? Okay, let's yell something out. Let's hear some good words. Let's hear some bad. No, let's hear some good words. Good words. What could someone say? I want someone to improve something. What are the words I could use? Words and phrases.
Consider.
Have you considered? Yeah. Have you considered? Good.
Challenge themselves.
Yeah. If I could challenge Meat, I would ask him to. That's great. That's much better than that. That sucked. Right? Karen.
Do even better.
Do even better. So I would say I like that. If you compete, everyone says that.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act. It is a good phrase, but it's overused. What's your name?
Sarah?
Sarah, you have something.
I would suggest, or I would like to see more of. Or
Yeah.
Maybe I missed some.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would suggest I would like to see more of that. That's really constructive. I would love to see more of. That's way better than you didn't do that. Right? Any more? One here?
Or underline something and then to suggest to enhance this.
Oh, enhancing. Yeah, enhance. That's like the new even better.
So for me, what would be even better to underline it.
Yeah, it's my opinion. Yeah, so there's a big difference in saying, I think everyone in here thought that sucked, right? Or in my opinion, right? But these are the differences. I'm contrasting them on purpose.
Innovate is also a positive way of
Elevate.
innovating.
Yeah. Last one.
Refine.
refine. Oh, I love that one. So when it comes to word, be constructive. You can brainstorm these words beforehand, so you know I'm going to use this type of word. And then you know even better it's already taken, so I'm not going to do that one. Let's see. Take to the next level is also overdone, just so you know. Even better, take to the next level. I said it, and I was like, oh, damn. I like tweak. So there's two ways of making constructive words. One is you want it to be positive. Second is you want it to be small. Right? If it's like, all I want you to change is everything about your speech. Everything, then that sounds incomprehensible. I cannot do that. But just a small tweak. Just a small tweak. It'll have a big effect, but do this small tweak. Someone's bringing cake for the next day. Right? Does this make sense? You want it to be positive, and you want it to be small. Because that's doable. And this matters so much. Also in real life. Particularly in real life, not just Toastmasters life. Good. Number 3 is stage usage. Now we're getting advanced. So how you use the stage can help you memorize your evaluation, and it helps guide the audience. So if I do an evaluation, I might start out here as my opening point. Raise your hand if you want to be the best version of yourself. Then I have a spot for improvements, or a spot for what I like, and a spot for improvements on the floor. So I go transition to the points, and I go, Meat. What I loved about Meat's speech was he started with a question. What could make Meat's speech even better? Now I'm working on transition and moving to that point, which is my improvement. When I do my summary, I either walk over there or I point at that point, I close at the same spot. You guys are looking at me like, what is this guy saying? This is advanced stuff, I'm sorry. But the positive thing is, one, you're guiding the audience, but what you will find is that it actually helps you remember your structure and your evaluation. So this might seem really tough and advanced, but once you get a hang of it, it helps you. It doesn't detract. It is a tool for you as well. Does this make sense? Yeah. Opening spot what I liked, spot for improvement, summary, close. Good. It is advanced, hard to do. You're not going to get everything in the first go. Oh, this one's advanced. Yeah. You remember that theme thing? You remember that? Yeah. Here comes the theme thing. If you're really, and this kicks ass, I'll tell you. This is where in district they're like, oh, he did that. You get the theme, make the whole theme, you write down, his theme would be something about you being yourself, or then you make every point in the structure a metaphor to that theme. It's much easier. Being yourself is really abstract. So if I'm just doing it quick, I would say we have to question ourselves. Question is the first point. We have to talk to each other, dialogue. And then everything relates to theme. Does this make sense? Yeah. It's much easier with water or shipping or something. But what it is so kick-ass, because everyone in the audience will remember each of your points if you connect it to the theme, and you will stand out so much more. And it actually helps you remember your structure. Like, what are the points I'm supposed to, it can be much easier to remember like a boat, like a life vest, that can be much easier to remember, so it helps you remember your own evaluation. But it's not easy to do. But when you do it, people are like, oh, what? But
just give me a very simple example of a theme, like very simple, just so that we understand it. Not with me to speak, but something very simple.
Something very simple. I'm trying to remember one of my evaluations. In the district, what was that about? In the district, it was about this guy who overslept. His speech was about oversleeping because he watched too much Netflix. So I started with, dun dun, right? Which was good. No one started with that. And then I made everything about a scene, like he was talking about watching crimes. So I said that he didn't use the stage correctly. You were stepping all over the crime scene, right? You want to make sure that you have the scene set up differently. You were stepping all over the crime scene. And I opened with, it was like we jumped straight into a crime series. The way he opened with the story. Like, the point was story, but I talked about a crime scene because we were in the Netflix movie. So try and get everything related to that. There was probably some more, but I don't remember off the top. Does this make sense? Yeah. Hard to do when you do it. Kicks ass. And everyone remembers that much more than start with a story. Don't walk on the crime scene. People told me that after, right? It is hard. Last tips. And these are advanced, but I also want to give something for the people who've been here long and who want to win the competitions. Last one is open, equal, close. I know I wrote it in the structure, but it is actually advanced. That you tie your opening and your close together, and you make it a little twist at the end. So my opening for meet was raise your hand if you want to be your best self. And then my twist at the end is raise your hand if you want to be as awesome as me. Right? It's almost the same, but with a small twist. But you get that circular structure. This is advanced, but not as hard as you would think. Not as hard as you would think. So these are the 5 advanced tips. Are we okay? Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do next is we're going to bring up the next speaker, and you're going to get 5 minutes to get an evaluation ready, and then please use the structure, use the note system, try and see if you can get any of these. Caesar will count. Kristensen, from forecast to power flow. Theis Kristensen, from forecast to power
How many of you have turned on the light today? How many of you have charged your phone today? I know one has. How many of you have watched Netflix today? Turned on the oven? Used electricity or power today? All of you have. But how many of you have thought about where the power is coming from? A couple of guys has, the rest of you hasn't. And you're in luck, because I will spend the next 5 minutes giving you a crash course on how the power grid works. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Great, you don't have any choice. So, to get power, there are 3 different steps you have to go through before the power comes out in the outlet in the wall. First is something called the day-ahead market. Secondly, something called the intraday market. And lastly, something called the imbalance market. And now, what on earth does this mean? Well, the day-ahead market is actually today where we forecast tomorrow's prices. Have you ever wondered, if you look at your phone or website, you can see for each hour, the next 24 hours, what will your electricity or power price be? How's that possible? Can somebody see into the future? No. What you do is you ask all the producers of power, windmills, solar cells, nuclear, power plants. You ask them, hey, how much power can you deliver, for instance, between 9 and 10 tomorrow, or 5 or 6, and they give you some estimate, and you have this curve. Then you ask all the consumers, and it's not the end consumers, it's not us, but it's Nordlys, Andel Energi, etc. How much power will you use tomorrow? And they give a certain curve as well. And then you have the price, the sweet spot in the middle. That's why you know exactly for each hour what the price will be. If this sounds a bit weird, then think of that you need to host a pizza party tomorrow. You figure out how many friends are coming, how many pizzas to buy, and then you kind of have the sweet spots on a guest to pizza ratio. So that's how you determine that. Now, when tomorrow comes, when we come into close to the delivery hour of the power, then something else happens. Because yesterday, when we gave our forecast, then me as a solar farmer or windmill farmer might look at the forecast, the weather forecast, say, hey, the sun's going to shine, the wind is going to blow, but suddenly the wind is not going to blow. The sun is not going to shine, and then you're in trouble. Then you need to find the power elsewhere, and that's what you do in the intraday market. That's where you can buy and sell power from other people, so you can deliver the power you promised yesterday. And why is that important? Well, if you don't deliver the power, you'll get a big fine of a guy called TSO. Who here knows what TSO is? One bright student in the end. TSO is a transmission system operator. Each country has a TSO. In Denmark, it's Energinet, and they control the power. They ensure there's always a supply of power in the outlet, and they will fine you if you don't deliver the power you promised. Now back to this pizza party. It's Friday, and the guests are coming in 2 hours, and suddenly the phone is ringing and somebody's sick, not coming, or maybe your cousin is ringing saying, hey, I got 5 hungry friends I want to bring, and suddenly your guest to pizza ratio doesn't match. It's kind of the same with the power situation. You are very close to the party starting, to the power to be delivered. Now the last step is the imbalance market, and this is where we are going to deliver the power right now. So what happens if there's not enough power? Well, if you've been traveling to Thailand, for instance, sometimes you see the light flickers because there's not enough power. But in Denmark, we have a security of power. We will always have enough power, and that's because we have the imbalance market. Here the TSO has some agreement with a power plant, just waiting for the phone call from the TSO saying, put more power in the grid, and they will do that immediately. Or back to the pizza party, you have made an agreement with another pizza guy saying, keep the oven ready if you need to make another pepperoni pizza. It's kind of the same thing, you have them on standby. And of course, these guys, they need a substantial amount of money to suddenly just spin it up for you. And that's where the fine from this guy who didn't deliver the power is going to this guy in the imbalance market. I think you should show the card. So, next. So next time you turn on Netflix, boost up your phone, turn on the light, smile and appreciate all the hard work that went into the powers in the outlet for you. Thank you.
Pretty good icebreaker.
How many here love playing PlayStation 5? Please raise your hand now. How many here only use the microwave to make your lunches and food in your home? And how many here think that electric cars is the best thing that happened in our lifetime? So where do you think all this energy comes from? Exactly, from this pizzeria right here. Yeah. What I love about Theis speed was the use of returnable devices. These are all Power 3 windmill, power plant, and solar. But also when he explained the three markets, the day-ahead market, the imbalance market, and the third market. Another thing that Theis excelled in was his body language. He used his body and hands to emphasize his speech. I saw something like this, and I saw something like this, but I was waiting for the pizza, how we can make this, but all great way of using your body to emphasize the speech you have. So how can Theis become even better and excel in his speech? The one thing that I have is improvement of the visualization that he gave us. We saw a lot of visualization of the pizza aligned with the energy net. So maybe adding some sounds and some smell to explanation will give us more details. For example, when you ask us how many turned on your lights, maybe say click, click. Or maybe explain while you're eating the pizza and do something like this. I don't know. But this will improve the visualization and give us a better understanding of what explaining. All in all, great way of using multiple devices, body language, and improvement of the visualization, he become even better. And right now I'm hungry. I need some pizza to get some more energy.
Good job, Sakaria. Let's do the Caesar's poll. Did he do the opening? Did he do 2 pluses or pluses? Yeah. 2 improvement points. Summary. Close. Open, equal, close. Yeah. Good. Clear tips. Clear, distinct tips. Okay. So have words, constructive words. Yeah. Look around. Yeah. Stage usage. That was actually really good. That was really clear use. Theme. So somewhere in between, open, equal, close, we had. So he hit those spots very specifically. I want to highlight two things also to contrast to what we just had. Sakaria did third-person usage of Theis. So instead of saying Theis, what you should do, speak directly to him, he said what I suggest Theis should do. So third person. And in a competition, you always want to do that. And that is, you get minus points for not doing that in the advanced speeches. And that's because there's like a power thing when you're on stage versus not on stage. So if I stand over me, what you should do is this. You should really change that, right? There's a power dynamics that's really off, but where if you say, what I would suggest Theis should do is this. So third person is the by the book right way of doing it, which was what Sakaria did. And Sakaria, just one small tweak for you specifically. When you do an opening, make it tighter. There's no reason to use 3 questions to set it up and making it big like that. Do it tight. You want to spend the meat of your evaluation on the actual evaluation and not a lot on what we just saw the speech. We don't need to hear the speech again. So make the opening tighter so you have more time for me. Just specific things. Let me just check time. We'll do 1 more from you and then 1 more from me, if that's okay, and then we'll round up. So who wants to do one?
How many of you have turned on the light today? Click. I was electrified. I did, yes. I was electrified by this great opening of Theis. And he hooked us all in with a question that we can all relate to. What I liked the most of Theis' speech was the use of the stage. It was like the energy, the electrons created from the power plant flowing to the net. The guy that flipped out the switch. Amazing. To challenge a little bit Theis, very experienced speaker, I would like to see a little less flickering of the lights when he was moving on the stage by dragging his feet. That flickering was a little bit distracting from the bright speech that Theis gave. Another suggestion that I invite Theis to consider is to enhance his story. Put more energy into that by making it personal and leverage the feelings. Everybody can relate to electricity, the light, flipping on. But it's a bit of a technical, low voltage kind of situation. By putting in focus and emotions, we would raise the energy and the power delivered by Theis' speech. To summarize, great opening, electrifying, ownership of the stage throughout the entire speech. Theis should not distract us by the feet and make it more personal, this story, to make us feel what happened that I turned on the light. Ooh! Finally, I can see something very important, which is the audience, and it's great. Thank you.
Let's do a quick Caesar's poll. We'll just do the tips here. Clear tips. What, where, how? Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Constructive use of words. Plus all the way around. Stage usage. Yeah? A little slip up one part of the way. That's because you're so excited that you use the stage a lot. Theme. Really good. Really good. Open equal close. So, a little so. But that's really good. We won't do the structure, okay? How cool is that? I didn't think you would get any. I'm so surprised. You did wonderful. One thing, just one piece of note. He didn't use notes at all. So how do you do that? How do you go from that? The trick is to get the structure right first. So I would actually advise most of you to just start out using notes, because you want to make sure you get the structure and the content right. Once you got the structure done enough times and you're using the stage, now you know what's going to happen. So now you move from having, the map of New York to having just a little note, like a Post-it, where you write everything on, and then you just have that in the palm of your hand. That's actually why the notes are made this way. You can fold it and have it in the palm of your hand. So I'm ready to go on stage right after, right? So then you do this, and then over time you do this, and then you start talking, and then if you need it, you just look at your notes, and then slowly you move in that direction.
Do you get more or less points by using notes, not notes?
According to the rules, there is no difference. You are allowed to use notes, but there is a little bit of X factor, I think. Like, it is a speech. If you deliver it better, you will. Officially, you're not getting more points, but unofficially, you will. Yeah. I'm going to use notes because I didn't think, no. All right. Should I do one evaluation and then close, okay? Let there be light. When Theis stepped on stage, it was like the clouds just moved aside and the sun shone down on him. Oh! Clearly, Theis loves the spotlight. What I loved about Theis' speech was he made us curious straight away. Like, we all want to see what's right outside of that cone of light, right? We get so curious, what's that? And he made us think with the questions, so where do life, I want to see, right? We all have that, making us curious, bringing us into the speech. Secondly, what I loved the most was the use of the grid, the system. It was so clear. He had an opening, he had a roadmap for each point. I'm going to tell you what this story is about. He even used the stage as the grid to show the grid and show the structure of it. Beautiful job. Couple of suggestions, small tweaks that can have a big effect on Theis and his speech. I would say, why should we shine a light on Theis? Like, clearly this is an expertise area, but I never heard any credibility. why is it we should shine a light on Theis? So I would suggest that Theis introduces to the Toastmasters before his credibility. So a third party comes up and says, well, Theis has this education. Theis has worked 10 years for us. Theis has done this, this, and this. Because now when he takes the stage, we're all like, he's an expert in life, right? So adding credibility, and credibility affects everything after, but nothing before. So getting someone else to do it and do it before he speaks is an excellent way. Secondly, I would say, sometimes when things are really abstract, you really want to put a spotlight on it. And those 3 points were very abstract. Day trading, like I couldn't picture it in my head. So I would suggest that making a translation to us, what is it like for us, like a metaphor for each of the points that I can visualize in my head. Because I cannot, for the life of me, visualize day trading, or there's no pictures in my head. So making metaphors as you set it up initially would make it much easier for us to understand and remember. Last but not least, I would say there's a redefine option in terms of joke. Whenever you have these TSO, you can reinterpret that to mean what people really think about, right? TSO is something, but what do people really think about it? So you reinterpret that and you get a laugh. There's a joke right there to be had. So to summarize, I would say you had the cone and we wanted to see everything right outside the cone. You made us curious. I would say I love the grid. The structure was so clear. Why should we shine a light on Theis? Let's get the credibility up to the first hand and make sure that we get a spotlight on the abstract. We want a metaphor. We want something we can actually see in our minds. And last but not least, redefine TSO, like make a joke out of that. So when Theis stepped on stage, it was like clouds pulled apart and the light shone down on it. Oh, I can't wait for the next time to see the light on him. We don't do the things. But this showed very much the theme, right? And this shows that you can get almost everything in the theme. And you remember much more the cone of light, I'm curious right outside, than if I just said abstract curious, which by the way makes the point that abstract concepts you have a hard time remembering. I don't know what I'm doing next. What structure? Give me the structure.
Sealed opening.
Yeah, sealed opening.
Plus, minus, minus. Summarize. Close, full loop.
Close, full loop. Great. What else will you take away? Yell something out. Sakaria.
Using the theme to explain the examples of human and
using the theme to do metaphors. The trick is everyone remembers much better. You're going to look fantastic as well, but it actually helps you remember as well. One trick on the theme is make it a little broad. Like light is a broad theme. That's a quite broad theme. You can actually make a lot of metaphors using that. So theme, great. Yeah, go ahead.
Surprise to something unexpected. So Theis, he kind of called out timer, which was really unexpected. And Victor, he said something in the end, like turned on something, and that really got people like, oh, okay, what?
I was going to use that for my opening. I was like, oh, dang it! Opening will grab the attention. Yeah. Who else? That's it. Yeah.
Me. Is it me?
Yes.
And they're saying that in my mind, I think I will try to have it more on paper and use my notes on stage without fear until I get to the point that I am feeling comfortable. I will try without using notes or without reading.
My specific advice is don't do everything at once. You're going to fail miserably. Although most of you did, I don't know how. But and if you did that, you're happy. You did it, right? And the next time you're going to be, okay, I'm going to try to. Don't do everything at once. It's not going to work. But take everything with you. Try one thing at a time.
Yeah, I think that the clear tips is kind of for giving a really good evaluation. It's really good to not just say that Theis has a good stage, users, but actually exemplify it so that delivers a more deep dive into what the
definitely. So if you can chunk it off, what, where, how, right? And one here.
Well, my takeaway is that evaluations are fun. I can't wait till my next evaluation. Yeah.
Where is Hygge?
Frederiksberg is not far from
Frederiksberg,
yeah.
What time, when?
Second Friday and last Monday. From 18 to 20.
I'm already confused.
Yeah.
Sometimes Friday, sometimes Monday, no one knows.
But is it on Easy Speak? It is, right?
It is on Easy Speak, it is Toastmasters DK.
Can other Toastmasters join your meetings?
Yes.
Or is it closed up?
Is
So
it Danish
please-
or English? It's English. Okay.
Please support the new club and make sure you come and help Hygge. We want Hygge to be a great
What's the
club.
name again?
Hygge Toastmasters.
Okay. Yeah, but it can be fun. Last three. We go here, here, and one more.
Yeah. So
Shinya?
I did my evaluation on just yourself, right? And it was a little bit difficult to use a theme, as you can imagine. But here in your evaluation, I think the closing was very impactful. Like, who wants to be like me? That kind of closing, also examples, you can still make an evaluation very much impactful as long as you cover other stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult, you know, to make it.
Themes are way easier when it's something broad concept,
Yeah.
which is sort of general, like light,
Yeah.
water.
Exactly.
If it's abstract B or something philosophical, it's super hard. But you can still do opening that's really cool and a mic drop moment at the end.
Yeah.
But it is really hard to do.
Because out of those 5 things, I think I would struggle the most with the theme.
No, I was doing the evaluation thinking I can do the theme either. So really hard. Yeah. One more here, and then here. Yeah.
I'd like to, I'm going to take this words category with me. There were phrases which were beautifully put, and one which is going to stay with me is another suggestion I invite you to consider. That was beautifully put.
Yeah.
Giving the person an authority, not from a point of view as a criticism, but but it's like giving the power to the front person, right?
Yeah.
To take in the invitation. That was really beautiful.
And I think this applies a lot in real life. Like it's just incredible how big the difference in how it's received, in how you phrase those specific words. So if you have some tough feedback or something, you really just spend 2 minutes to think about what are the specific constructive words I'm going to use. The light has just turn on the lights. He's leaving. It's done. We're done. Last one, and then our report.
Yeah, I just love the notion that the quality of the evaluations sets the ceiling for the club, or for the speeches that are given in the club. But I think that just put me in the mind of the feedback's crucial role in improving.
Yeah, but now I don't know what to close with. Yeah, but it really does set the ceiling of the club. Okay. Do you have a good time?
Yes.
Let's see the poll. Did you learn something new? Are your next evaluation going to be better? Are you going to apply something? Just one thing. Just one thing. Oh, that was one thing. Okay. When was the last time you got really rough and tough feedback? How did it make you feel? Maybe you felt like you wanted to stick your head in the ground like you were an ostrich and just make the world disappear. In 2010, I had that feeling. I left that room thinking I should never give a presentation again. And I was doing one later that afternoon. It was terrible. So feedback really does matter. My challenge to you is don't leave this room with nothing. Like we all spent 2 hours now, that's good, and we had fun. But the truth is, most people just had fun and you will not apply this. So my challenge to you is next evaluation, just do one thing. One thing, use the structure, use the whatever it is. Just do one thing from this evaluation. That's my challenge to you. Thank you.
We are running out of time, so I just want to do this very quickly. I just want to give certificates of appreciation for those who actually step up to be speakers, but Theis has left, so I'll just keep his certificate with me. I'd like to give the certificate of speaker, Meet. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. And for the evaluators, Shinya, roles of evaluators, thank you, appreciate that. Last but not least, I'm completely blown away by today's workshop. I've never been to an evaluation workshop, and I have learned so much. And I think that we just have to keep on doing evaluation. So I believe that for all the meetings, everybody will be signing up for evaluators and put it into practice. Because if you don't put it into practice, you won't be able to learn the tips that he has given us today. So to give a very, just show me your appreciation for Andreas, please get him on stage and thank him.